What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Nuggy Unlimited, and this is episode 3. And episode 3 is kind of a special episode. It's a childhood story. It's kind of funny to me, too. Y'all get to learn a little about me in middle school, or what did you guys call it? I don't know. I think that's what you call it, middle school, but we don't call it middle school, it's primary school. So, into the story, it's me kind of getting to know myself, like how I am today. I'm my own person. I follow my own rules. I don't like taking people's command. I don't like that. And I was in the 5th grade, and me and the teacher's son, we were kind of cool, but we didn't fully get along. And from this conversation, let's just say me and the teacher's son ended up getting into a fight over a disagreement. And ever since that one day, the teacher didn't like me. She had this thing where she just didn't like me. But it didn't bother me. I mean, me and her son was still cool on a certain level, but he just knew not to cross me. And one day, if you didn't know, you know, I have a bladder problem. If I have to go, I have to go. So one day it was right before school was about to over, and I really had to go. And back then, you have to get permission to go to the restroom when you're in school. You have to ask your teacher, like, hey, can I go to the restroom? Stuff like that. And me, of course, I have manners. I have a lot of manners. I said, hey, Miss, her name was Miss Sawyer. I said, hey, Miss Sawyer, can I go to the bathroom? She said, no, you have to wait. Class is almost over. I go, well, I can't wait. She was like, why not? I said, I have a bladder problem. She thought I was lying. I mean, I'm a kid, you know. Most adults, they think kids are lying when they say stuff like that. I said, you can call my mom or dad now. I have a bladder problem. She goes, no, you can wait. You can hold it. So I said, okay. As she was saying that, as she said, you can wait, I got up out of my seat and I left the class. And after I was done, I strolled right back in class, and I sat in my seat, took my book out, like I didn't just walk out of class as she was talking to me. So, as I got to my seat, she said, Mr. Wood, she said, I'm going to have to talk to your father. I'm like, okay. I said, what's the problem? And she goes, you left the class without permission? I said, well, for one, you're not my mom. You're not going to tell me when I can and can't pee. And my mom doesn't even tell me when I can and can't pee. If I gotta go, I'm just gonna go. And if you call my mom, she'll tell you the exact same thing. She'll say, you can't tell my damn son when he can and can't pee. If he gotta pee, let him go pee. He has a bladder problem. So she was like, okay, so you're just gonna do what you want to do? I'm like, yeah. Only person in this world that tells me what to do is my mom or my dad. And not even mostly my dad. It's my mom. So she goes, okay. Ever since that day, she had a problem, and I made it a habit. I never asked her to go to the restroom again. I always just leave the class without permission. And everybody was like, Brandon, what the hell? How can you just leave the class? I'm like, because, man, she pissed me off that day. I didn't say she pissed me off. I said she made me mad. She was acting like she was my mom or something. And ever since, like, she stopped talking to me, and then when I seen she started showing a different attitude towards me, I just was like, all right, forget her too. I stopped doing all my work. I was always a 4.0 student. I think this was the first time I didn't get over an A, and my dad got upset. And it was because I didn't like her, and I told him, I explained to my parents. I was a very mature young person. I said, hey, I respect people that respect me. If I show you respect and you're not showing it back, I'm not going to show you respect. And my dad we sat and talked about it, and he was okay with it, but he was like, but that's still your teacher and your grades are still going down. So my dad seriously was going to make me repeat a grade because I didn't get an A. So after talking to him about it, he was fine with it. The teacher talked to him, and I sat there, and I was like, no, I'm not going to let you talk to her without me being there, because she's going to fill your head up with craziness. She's going to lie. And I have no reason to lie, because, I say exactly how I feel, and I've always been like that. So he said, okay. And we got into class, and she said, well, Brandon did such and such, and I said, because I told you to call my dad or call my mom. I have a bladder problem, and she did not let me go to the bathroom. And he said, yes, he can't hold his pee. Simple as that. And I was like, she didn't even take the time to call, and I'm not going to just pee on myself in the front of the class. Hell no. I said, I got up and I left the class because I had to go. And he said, he said, I'm not his mom or such or whatever. I said, exactly, you're not my mom, and you know how I am too. I told my dad the same thing. He's not allowed to beat me. I was like, if he ever wanted to beat me, he would have to call my mom and get permission, because I lived with I was a mama's boy. I was like, if I felt like I didn't deserve to get whooped, I would say call my mom and explain the situation to my mom. And if she feels I deserve to get whoop me. That's how I was as a kid. Now my mom, it was no questions asked. I couldn't say call my dad and ask him. But that's the type of parenting I had. I respected my dad. I never got out of line. But I always would say, get clarification from my mom. And I never did much to get whooped. I was a good kid. I was spoiled, but I was a good kid. So ever since, she always would call me a free spirit. I was always that laid back person that did what they want to do. And I'm always going to be that person, So that's kind of giving you guys a little insight on how I used to be as a kid and how I am now. I'm still like that. I don't like taking commands. But that is the end of this video. Stay tuned for the next episode, and I appreciate you guys for watching.